everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danya if you're new here, and in today's video we're going to be working on some really fun Cricut projects. For the first one, I'm going to do a reverse canvas. I bought this from Dollar Tree for $1.25. It's the 8x10. I actually will set it aside until I weed out my design. I'm going to do something a little different than I usually do with my reverse canvases. But let's weed this out first, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking. So this pink iron-on is going to be the frame, a design element on the canvas itself. And you'll see what I mean in just a couple minutes. I will have all the vinyl and then the SVGs, or if I use fonts, I'll have those linked in the description box in case you are curious about any of these. I am running low on my red glitter iron-on, so I had to cut this design in a creative way because I couldn't fit all the words in the way that they're supposed to be on the canvas. And I'm actually kind of nervous. I don't know if I mean, so far it's okay, but I don't know why some of the pieces or some of the letters are wanting to lift up. So we'll see. Now, the inspiration for this reverse canvas came from, let me just pause that for a minute. It came from this. I recently bought this from the Target dollar spot. It was $5. It was from their like bullseye playground, I think is what they call it. So I loved the colors, I love the look, and I'm going to put this in my kitchen. So I kind of followed this color scheme and then the scallops, if you'll notice this in this part of the design. So I really like that, and I wanted to create a piece of decor that I could put right next to it and it would look like it was kind of part of the theme, basically. So what I did was I wrote down, and I've seen this before, and I always thought it was really funny. I wrote down, "Chef was cute, would eat here again." And even though I cook a lot of the time, recently my husband has been cooking a lot, so I thought this would be a funny and cute addition to my kitchen. And when I see this design, it's always between quotations because it's almost like a review. You know how people have like 5 stars, and usually it does have 5 stars, but I decided not to put that on mine. So usually it has 5 stars, and then it says "Chef was cute, would eat here again." I thought that was funny. Now you're probably wondering what this is. I will tell you once I'm done weeding. Okay, yikes, that was a struggle. All right, now, because I wasn't able to fit this vertically, I don't know why the word it just wasn't clicking in my brain. So I wasn't able to cut it vertically, you know, as is. What I decided to do was I left a piece of the design, and this is something that was supposed to be weeded out. So this is from the L, because that way I can just line it up on here, and then I'll know that the position is correct. And I'll show you what I mean once it's time to place it on. So what I need to do next is I need to basically take this apart, and you'll see me do that in a couple minutes. And then I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press Mini to iron the red glitter on here and then also the pink one. And you can absolutely do that with a heat press. It's probably faster, but I already have my Easy Press right here, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to trim these apart. Now, when I go to place this on my canvas, I basically just need to line this up. Oh, I guess it was for the D and not the L. I need to line it up, and then I can press this at the same time, and I will know that it is perfectly lined up. Before I do that, I do have to cut this part of the carrier sheet. Do you see that? Because this is blocking half of the word cute. And if I apply heat right now, so if I do this part of the word, half of the word cute is actually going to adhere to my carrier sheet right here. So I just need to cut this, and then I can place this all at the same time, and I will know that it is perfectly lined up. So let me just get this ready, and then we'll work on the canvas. There. Now I can use this, and it is good to go. All right, so let me move these out of the way. Let's work on the canvas. I just realized that I probably should have started with this because I'm going to need to wait for it to dry. Okay, it's fine. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about, and I promise I'll tell you. So now all I need to do is I want to separate the canvas from the frame. Earlier, I had told you that I'm going to do something a little different. I usually just use the frame as is. After I separate the canvas, you know, I put the design on the canvas and then I put the frame on top and I call it a day. For today, I want to paint the frame. I looked through the colors that I have and I wanted something that kind of went nicely with this color. So I decided on this. It's called English Ivy Green. Looks like I have to shake it up, but I think it's going to look nice on the frame. But we'll see. We'll find out together. Okay, so now that I have completely detached the frame from my canvas, what I normally do is I use my Cricut Easy Press Mini or my heat press to press the design on here. And then I use my glue gun to attach the frame. That's pretty much what I'm going to do today. But like I said, I want to paint this. So let me do that first so that it has enough time to dry. And I'm just going to use this foam brush that I bought from the dollar store. Okay, I'm going to put a tiny, whoop. I meant to put less, but I'm gonna put a little bit right there. Now I want to try to only get paint on the top portion. I don't want to paint the insides or the sides of the frame. Okay, so I think this is the safest way to do it. I don't know how the brush strokes are going to look, but we'll see once it's dry. And I think if I do one coat, it should dry relatively quickly. I don't know who is emailing me, but I always forget to put my phone and my watch on silent. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love the color so far. I'm glad I went with this. I have a ton of acrylic paint that's this small. And I really like having them on hand because of projects like this when I all of a sudden decide I want a specific color. First of all, I mean, they look really nice on my pegboard downstairs, but also it's very convenient that I can just grab whatever color. And when I bought them, most of them, they were on sale. So it was a crazy good price. So it worked out. The frame looks kind of crooked, which I don't know that I've ever gotten a frame like that before. I feel like it'll be fine because the scalloped frame, the pink one, is kind of like an organic shape. So I think it'll be okay. We'll see. Yeah, I definitely have a lot of leftover paint. I'm gonna try to put some of this back in the bottle. I love how that looks. Let me just clean up my glass mat and then we can start working on the canvas. I'm going to set this off to the side to dry until hopefully it'll be dry by the time we're done with the other one. If not, we'll work on the mug, which is my next project, and then we'll come back to this one. All right, turning this on while I clean my surface so that it preheats. Okay, perfect. I am going to trim this down after I place the design. I just prefer to do it that way. So let me see. I'll preheat the surface. All right. So like I said, we now have this layered, but I'm not worried about this tiny piece transferring onto my canvas because my other piece, which has the words and the correct part of the design, is covering it up. So this tiny piece is actually going to adhere to my carrier sheet right here, which is totally fine. All right, so I actually want this to be kind of tilted, almost like it's a handwritten review, but let me see where the frame is going to go. Okay, let me do the frame first. All right. Okay, this is a cold peel, and it looks like I have a tiny wrinkle right here. That's the disadvantage with using something like this because I was moving around, so the vinyl was trying to move as well. If it was a heat press, it would just press it right away. It would, you know, flat on the canvas and I wouldn't have to worry about that. So just something to keep in mind. Or if you're using a bigger Cricut Easy Press, you know, and then you press it all at the same time, I don't think you would have that problem. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Okay. I had a small part try to lift over here. I'm not going to worry about that now. Let me first position the words and then I'll apply more heat again. All right, so I want this to kind of look like that. Okay, that's good. Let me protect the pink layer as well. Now the pink frame is kind of crooked, but I'm not worried about that for now. All I need to make sure I do is line up the frame properly when I'm gluing it down. So for now, the frame, it doesn't really matter if it's straight or not. I mean, as long as these two are correct. But once I place the frame, that's when I need to really be careful. Okay, now the red is a warm, pretty sure it's a warm peel. All right, I think this is ready to go. And remember this, it adhered to that piece of plastic and that is perfect. Oh my gosh. I actually will wait a few more minutes for the frame to dry. So let's work on the mug and then I'll bring this back in. All right, so I have this really cute Cricut mug. I have crafted with these before, just the other colors. And even though it is compatible with infusible ink, I'm just going to add regular vinyl. And that's what I've done in the past as well. So, oh my gosh, I really like the two colors. Very cute. Let me add some rubbing alcohol and then we can weed out the design. All right, setting that off to the side. That way it'll be dry by the time I'm done. I mean, it's already dry, but that way it's ready to go. So I used this really pretty blue from Tech Wrap. I wanted something that kind of matched the handle. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. And I did a design for the front and back of the mug. What I did was I found this really pretty font. Each letter has these butterflies, and I thought that was absolutely adorable. So I did my initial, and then I grabbed those same butterflies and cut them separately from the letter. And that way I can have a design on one side and then my initial and the butterflies on the other side. And I had a feeling that the smaller pieces were not going to survive. So these, and I was okay with that because you can still see the shape of the butterfly. This shade of blue is so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, I'm going to grab transfer tape, but let me separate these first because I want to use the same transfer tape for both and I don't want it to accidentally try to grab the butterfly right now. All right. So this is the color I used. Look at the slap bracelet. I love that they have some of these that color coordinate with the vinyl. It's so cute. I did a whole video last year when I first tried out Tech Wrap vinyl. I'll have that video on the screen. It was so much fun. And oh my gosh, I mean, I had, up until that video, I had heard how much people love Tech Wrap and I had never tried it before and I fell in love. I mean, the quality and the colors, wow. I tried to get the transfer tape on straight, but I don't think I did. Okay, so I want my initial on this side. Yep, and then I'm gonna have the butterflies on the other side. Okay, it looks like, you know what, I'll worry about that later. There's a teeny tiny piece of vinyl. Because this is permanent vinyl, I can just easily remove it afterwards. But if it was iron-on, that would be a different situation. Okay, let me place it down right now, and then I will take that off. Oh my gosh, the color. So cute, isn't it? I love it. At first, I was gonna do a color that matched the inside, but first of all, I couldn't find this color in my vinyl collection. And second of all, I felt like the blue would look a lot nicer. So it worked out nicely that way. Awesome. And I have these placed exactly how I want them on the vinyl. So, I mean, on the cup. So I'm just going to do that. I do see another piece of vinyl that I need to remove. It's this one. And then I don't know. Oh, it's on the transfer tape. I don't know if I should leave this or remove it because only one of them survived. Let me see if I take it off. I mean, I guess I can keep it because it's a side view, or maybe there was only one. Let me double check. No, there was two. Let me see if I remove it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take it off because the first time I wash it, even though I'm gonna hand wash it, that teeny tiny line wasn't going to survive anyway. And I think that still looks adorable. Oh my gosh, I love the color. So cute. And I love this font. I'm going to add the link if you guys want to check out the font. I love it. I think I got my initial a little crooked, but when I'm drinking, I don't think that's what I'm going to pay attention to. Okay, let me go check on the frame and bring it back in. Okay, I think it's not 100% dry, but if I'm very careful, I think I can work with this. So let me see where I want this to go. Oh my gosh, the colors look amazing. I'm really, really happy with how they turned out. Okay, let me grab a pen. Oh my gosh, the fact that the frame is crooked is really throwing me off. I don't know that I've ever had this issue with these canvases before, and I've been buying them for years. Okay, let's see if I flip it over. The fact that this frame, like I said earlier, is more of like an organic shape is kind of making it a little bit better. If it was an actual rectangle, oh my gosh, that would have been very obvious. Okay, I think that's good. So let me see if I can touch this. Yep, I'm going to mark the area so that I can trim this down. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to grab my scissors. And I will cut all the extra that we don't need. I have my glue gun, my cordless glue gun charging off to the side because that's what I'm going to use. And I couldn't remember if I charged it last time. So just in case, I plugged it in. Okay, great. So let's see, just double check again that that looks good. I think instead of flipping it over, because I want to make sure I place the frame exactly this way, I'm probably going to add glue right here and then place it like this instead of flipping it over and adding glue that way. So let me just turn this on, hopefully. Okay, it just needs a few seconds to warm up. Once it stops flashing, it means it's ready. Okay, it is ready to go. So Okay, awesome. Now I'm going to add glue to the other side. And I do have some extra canvas like peeking through, so I'm just going to trim that down. Oh my gosh, very cute. Okay, let's add some glue right here and here. And then on this side as well. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh. Come on, isn't that adorable? Let me bring in the cherry, oh my gosh, what is that called? I have no idea. Novelty ceramic is what it says. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. I will have to take a picture of these two in my kitchen and insert the picture in the video because this is just too cute. What do you guys think? I love it. Okay, let's move on to the next ones. All right, for my next two projects, I'm going to be working on some t-shirts. I have these beautiful pieces of fabric that I bought from Hobby Lobby. Now, you might have seen my video from a couple weeks ago. I'll have that video on the screen where I worked on t-shirts that turned out absolutely beautiful. I cut out some letters using different fabric, and then I used heat transfer vinyl just to highlight those letters, and it turned out really, really nice. And so I'm really excited to work on more. Now I'm going to be using my rotary tool, but as I mentioned in that video, I have seen videos of people making beautiful shirts and cutting fabric using their Cricut Explore machines as well. So this is doable, and from what I saw, they used the Cricut bonded fabric blade, which is the pink one. And I believe it has to be a bonded fabric. And with the Maker, you don't really have to necessarily have bonded fabric, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's just easier because I will need that backing either way to adhere the letters to the t-shirts. So I'm going to use heat and bond. Now, what I need to do is I need to use some type of heat source. So I'm gonna use my HTV Ront press to press this heat and bond. So there's almost like a shiny side and a paper side. The shiny side has to come in contact with the back of the fabric, and then I need to add heat. That way this adheres to this. And then I'm going to leave the paper backing on here. I will place it on my Cricut fabric mat, so the pink one, and then I'll have my Cricut cut out the letters. And then when it's time to put the letters on the t-shirt, I will remove the paper backing. I'll place the letters on the shirt, and then I'll use my heat press to adhere the letters onto the t-shirt. And I'll show you the process, but I just figured I would explain it first so that you know what I'm doing. And I'm going to do the same thing I did the first time, which is use the Siser Strip Flock heat transfer vinyl to cut out the outline for the letters. And then in this case, it won't be letters, it's going to be a design, but I will also use Siser heat transfer vinyl to create that outline. I just feel like it looks nice and polished, and it also protects the fabric. So let's get started. Okay, I'm just double checking, making sure that it actually adhered. Yep, and you can see the shiny, I don't think you can see it on camera, but in person you'll be able to tell if it transferred on or not. So that looks good. I'm gonna double check the other side. The other side is still not ready, so I need to add more heat. Okay, good. Okay, so because this is heat transfer vinyl, iron-on vinyl, I need to place it face down, and then I also need to mirror the design on Cricut Design Space. And I'm using my strong grip mat, but as you can see, it still doesn't want to stick. I mean, this vinyl is kind of tough to deal with. Okay, and then I need to, of course, change my blade. And I'm doing the glitter iron-on setting for this. Okay, perfect. Looks like it cut out beautifully. Oh my gosh, perfect. I'm glad that was the right setting. Okay, and then I'll weed the whole thing out in a minute, but I just want to make sure, let me see. The size, yes, that's great. Okay. Now for the mama one, I'm gonna do black for the outline or offset. Okay, same thing. It's face down, and then I did glitter iron-on. Okay, perfect. All right, let's weed this out and get it ready, and then we can press the designs on my t-shirts. I'm so excited. This is my first time using the black strip flock, and it is so cool. I feel like you can see the velvet texture the most in this color. It's so cool. I wanted something with a little bit of contrast, and I also wanted it to kind of match the fabric. So the strawberries do have, the strawberry pattern does have black, and then the t-shirt is going to be white. So I thought this would look really, really cool. So I'm just going to place these letters right here. Let me just show you. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the black is really cool. Now, there are a lot of fuzzies, so you can't really see it. But once it's on the shirt, you will be able to see it clearly. And then all these fuzzies will hopefully go away. I just need to trim the top and bottom because I'm not sure if this would actually transfer. So let me just trim that off. Okay, so I'm just going to put the rest of the letters in here, and then we can go down to my heat press. Okay, before we go down, I need to get this one ready as well. And this is going on a, I don't know if it's a maroon color, but I feel like that's the closest way to describe it. Let me show you. So this is the t-shirt it's going on. So the bow, I still have to weed these out, but I thought the color would look really nice with this combination. And it's all wrinkly because I washed it. So hopefully now when I put it under the press, it will flatten out those wrinkles. Oh my gosh. Okay, awesome. Now let's see how the placement is going to look, because I feel like that's something that I still have not really perfected. Is you sometimes can still see tiny gaps between the heat transfer vinyl and the fabric. And because these are just shirts that I'm doing for myself and, you know, eventually for my kids and family members, it's fine. But I still want to figure out how to perfect that. I'm actually wondering if I should weed out more, if I should just leave the outline and maybe this circle, but remove the rest of the lines. I'm not sure. I'm going to place it on the shirt just as is, and then I'll kind of stare at it for a few minutes and decide. All right, here's a close-up on this one. You probably saw me right before I pressed this. I removed some of the white outline. I just felt like it was a little too much. And honestly, ideally, looking at it right before I pressed it, I realized that I should have had my Cricut cut out the fabric in these 4 areas as well. But it was too late and I didn't want to redo it. But I do feel like it would have looked much nicer if this was hollow. Like if you could see the shirt through here, I think that would have looked a lot nicer. I still really, really love how it turned out. I love the fabric. This applique is one of my new favorite projects. I have only done a few, and you guys saw the video that I referenced earlier. And if you didn't, again, I'll have that on the screen and in the description box. And those turned out so cute as well. So I'm really happy. I'm still going to play around with the settings even more, because with the offset, even though I made it a little bit thicker than I would have liked just to cover up the fabric, it still didn't cover up all of it. I think because, you know, when the rotary blade is cutting the fabric, it's not like vinyl, you know, it's going to move around a little bit. And so you're not going to get that exact size. So even though I tried to position it perfectly behind the vinyl, you can still see the t-shirt from here. So it's not a big deal, but I probably still have to play around with the settings even more. Here is the mama t-shirt. Oh my gosh, you guys, the strawberry fabric is so beautiful. I'm happy I went with a dark outline. I was at first going to go with just a white, but it was going to blend with the t-shirt too much. And I thought this one looked really nice, especially with the seeds and the strawberries. And I really, really like how that looks. Now with the fabric, you can see there are some areas that have imperfections. And honestly, I don't know if there's some way to fix that or if that's just how the rotary blade is. I was thinking after I pressed this and I noticed these imperfections, if I should do a side-by-side and compare how well my X-Tool laser machine would cut fabric compared to Cricut, just a thought. I don't know if anyone would be interested in seeing something like that, but I wonder, you know, if it would be a big difference or if it would just be faster. Let me know if you would like to see something like that. But otherwise, honestly, I love the shirt. I think this is my new favorite way of making anything. Cutting fabric is something that I never even thought of, but now I just love it so much. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite lineups this summer. I am really glad I painted the frame. I think it gave it a completely different look, and also mixing the glitter with the matte vinyl is always so much fun. I think this sign is really cute and it's going to give us a good laugh every day. I really, really like this mug. The colors are beautiful. I love the alphabet. And like I said, I will link all the supplies and SVGs, or if it's a font, I will link that as well. These t-shirts are just so adorable. Oh my gosh. If you guys have a Cricut Explore or a Cricut Maker, definitely try cutting out fabric. It's so much fun. Let me know which one of these was your favorite. If you made it till the end, add a strawberry emoji. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you all in next week's video. Bye.